The 4 o'clock news starts right now.
A Cherokee County inmate's death confirmed COVID-related as a detention center officer continues to battle the virus in the hospital. And uncertainty looms over the next 2 presidential debates, both campaigns sparring after the debate commission looks to change the format. And taking you outside this afternoon, a live look across Tigertown, another warm day in the upstate. Good afternoon, I'm Victoria Carmen. Cody is off today. We want to start with Chief Meteorologist Kendra Kent tracking the tropics this afternoon.
That's right, Hurricane Delta. It is that storm that Louisiana wishes would just vanish, would just go away, because it is going to likely cause some major destruction in areas that were already hit so hard by Laura. And we're going to feel some of this too, but nothing major out of the system, but certainly an increase in rain. You can see it's getting better organized. In fact, if you look toward the center, that eye is starting to form a little bit better, and that's the sign of a healthy hurricane with winds at 105 miles per hour. It's expected to make landfall toward 8 o'clock p.m. on Friday. So it's going to be a little bit, at least another 24 hours before coming close to landfall. Notice there is a tornado warning in advance of the storm in southern Mississippi, and that's going to be an issue for coastal areas as the storm makes its approach. Now for us, we're going to experience the rain out of it most likely late Saturday into Sunday as it moves up into Tennessee as a remnant area of low pressure. And looking at the computer models, they're in pretty good agreement, keeping it generally out of our area, but moving by to the northwest. And that will keep us with rain and a small threat of severe weather into the day on Sunday. We'll break that down further in a second. Want to show you the rest of your day today, though. 80s out there right now, and it's going to be cooling down fast as you go through the evening. 60s by 10 o'clock, but then halting, staying in the 60s into the late night hours. So it won't be quite as cool of a start as we go into Friday as those clouds start to increase. In the mountains, we'll have partly cloudy skies overnight, upper 50s expected toward late night. Now Friday should be mostly dry. We'll notice extra clouds, some showers toward the late part of the day. Nothing that should mess with your high school football plans too badly. But then off and on rain starts Saturday, and that could interfere with the Clemson game, South Carolina's game over in Nashville. And then the heaviest rain arrives Sunday. We'll outline it all hour by hour on Futurecast coming up. But first, let's pitch it on over to Tori, who's in for Chris for traffic.
Kendra, thank you. Yeah, Chris is off this afternoon. Taking a look at the roads for you. Starting in Greenville County, there is an accident on Gear Highway both ways from Lakemont Road to Club Terrace Drive. Also, we're watching Depot Street at Poinsett Street and Eastleigh Bridge Road at Ledbetter Street. Accident on Roper Mountain Road at Corinthian Drive, and 2 lanes are blocked due to an accident on 385 North. That's at exit 27. And in Spartanburg County, Springfield Road at Evergreen Drive, a little bit of a backup there, and a lane blocked due to an accident on 56 at Dairy Ridge Road. Taking a look from our DOT camera, 85 North right here, mile marker 42, things moving along just fine. And we're talking you decide. The second presidential debate may not happen. President Trump says he will host a campaign rally next week instead. So this comes after the Nonpartisan Commission on Presidential Debates announced next week's town hall style debate in Miami would be virtual. The president said he's not going to waste his time on a virtual debate. He said, quote, "That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous." His challenger, Joe Biden, also responding.
We don't know what the president's going to do. He changes his mind every second. So for me to comment on that now would be irresponsible.
The commission appeared to be responding to the president's battle with COVID-19. The Trump campaign now proposing a delay for the 2 remaining debates by a week so they can be held in person. The Biden campaign rejected moving the 3rd debate. And at last night's vice presidential debate, the candidates were separated from one another by that plexiglass. This debate taking on a bigger role than in previous elections, given the health and ages of both presidential candidates. The candidates did not hold back on key issues like climate change, foreign relations, and health care.
If you love someone who has a pre-existing condition,
they're
coming for you.
Obamacare was a disaster.
Senator Harris also attacking the Trump administration's response to COVID-19. Vice President Pence says the president's decision to suspend travel from China saved countless lives. Last night was the one and only VP debate. A North Carolina judge says he needs more time to decide how to fix errors on absentee ballots. The State Board of Elections says more than 7,000 ballots had some type of missing information. Yesterday, a judge heard arguments in a lawsuit over how to process the mail-in ballots. One of the biggest issues surrounding the state law requiring absentee voters to provide full information about a witness. The judge says he would like to issue a written ruling sometime next week. And some important dates to keep in mind if you're voting in North Carolina. So if you're not registered to vote, you've got to act now because the deadline is tomorrow. This includes in-person, online, and mailed-in registrations. You have until October 27th to request an absentee ballot, and ballots must reach the elections office by 5 p.m. November 3rd in order to be counted. Make sure you download our Fox Carolina News app. It's free in both the App Store and Google Play. We'll have everything you need to know come election night. A Cherokee County inmate has died from COVID-19. The coroner's office says 71-year-old Vicky Wooten was found unresponsive in his cell on September 27th. An autopsy performed this week confirmed COVID-19 as the cause of death. And a Cherokee County detention officer also in the hospital as he fights COVID-19. Giorgio Foster's been there for about a month now. The sheriff tells us he's off the ventilator and showing signs of improvement. He has started some physical therapy to regain use from a stroke he suffered on his right side. The sheriff asking everyone to pray for his recovery. And new numbers from DHEC today, 859 new cases confirmed across the state, 12 additional deaths. The percent positive of yesterday's tests, 11.8%. And new information today, DHEC says all licensed nursing homes and care facilities will report each facility's visitation status every week. So that information will become available on Tuesdays starting next week. More than 7.5 million confirmed cases across the country, and the new coronavirus surge still accelerating. There were more than 50,000 new infections reported Wednesday, with some 24 states still experiencing big spikes. The new surge overwhelming hospitals and other medical providers, especially in the hard-hit Midwest. Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services says a vaccine for the virus could be available for everybody by April of next year.
The good news is that we're doing everything we can to ensure that we have supplies manufactured. Pending FDA authorizations, we believe we may have up to 100 million doses by the end of the year, enough to cover especially vulnerable populations.
And on Capitol Hill, there are some new signs lawmakers are getting close to a deal on the stimulus package that could include help for the airline industry and checks for individuals. Neighbors in the city of Greenville spoke, and leaders say they're listening. More than 3,300 people participated in an online survey about police policies and procedures. And today, the Greenville Citizen Advisory Panel met to talk about those results. Fox Carolina's Carrie Weimer joins us live at the Law Enforcement Center in Greenville. And Carrie, what are they saying about this survey so far?
Well, you know, Tori, one concern that came up multiple times this morning during that virtual meeting was whether or not a broad enough audience was reached by that survey. The panel says they got a lot of input from the community, and they still have a lot of information that they've got to process and get through. Greenville city leaders say over 3,300 people responded to the online survey last month with almost 11,000 comments. Members from the Citizens Advisory Panel, along with the Greenville City Police Chief, city leaders, and an analyst for the police department held a virtual meeting to go over the statistics from the survey.
We wanted to have that information broken down in ways that the committee could understand and how it might inform our report and recommendations to City Council.
A chart provided by the city shows the breakdown of participants by age range. The larger chart on the left showing the highest percentage going to survey takers ages 35 through 54. Another chart shows participants by race on results from two different parts of the survey. The percentage of white participants are larger than other races.
This impacts every citizen that lives, works, shops, eats, worships in the city limits of Greenville, South Carolina. Any person that fits that category deserves to have their voice heard in this process.
When asked about the policing of the Greenville Police Department specifically, the data reported by the city from the survey shows that 53% of white participants believe officers treat everyone fairly, while 59% of black participants say officers do not treat everyone fairly.
This identifies that Greenville Police Department is seen differently in terms of how we interact and treat racial and ethnic groups relative to what we're seeing in terms of the national policing narrative that's going on out there.
We are going to compile the recommendations from each of the subcommittees and put together our report and recommendations for City Council to take up.
Now, originally that panel was scheduled to send the recommendations to City Council on Monday, but today they filed a motion to extend that until the 26th. Now, we streamed the entire meeting this morning on our Facebook, so just go to our Fox Carolina Facebook if you'd like to see everything that was talked about. Tori?
Carrie, thank you for that information this afternoon. And coming up, lots of Greenville County Elementary School students excited to get back into the classroom full time, but technology is making it possible and safe. Plus, doctors urging everybody to get flu shots this year, but there are always questions surrounding the vaccine. We'll tell you the answers. And still to come at 4:30, Governor McMaster responds to the state Supreme Court striking down his Safe Grants program for private school funding. Welcome back. Fox Carolina is the school station. Leaders in Greenville County say they're ready to bring elementary school students back full time. Fox Carolina's Grace Runkle's at the district office with what piece of equipment the superintendent says is making this all possible.
The superintendent of Greenville County Schools says that plexiglass dividers are what's making it possible for them to bring back the students at A.J. Wittenberg Elementary School and all the other elementary schools in the district full-time in person. Here's a look at what the setup will be. The state is supplying $43 million worth of plexiglass. Those dividers will break up a cluster of 4 desks, and each student will be required to keep their mask on at all times, even when they are seated behind the divider. Students in pre-K through 5th grade will slowly add in-person days to their schedule over the next month. and that will build up to the week of November 9th, the first week when all elementary school students are in class full time. The superintendent did say that this timeline could change. It's all contingent on whether or not they get that plexiglass from the state installed in time, and it also depends on the COVID-19 rate within their students and their staff members staying low. Reporting in Greenville, Grace Runkle, Fox Carolina News.
And today, the Greenville County School District begins hosting virtual open houses for its magnet schools. Each of the 11 schools will post a video highlighting their programs and application process. The videos will be posted to the individual school's website. The open houses will run until October 22nd. The school district says the first window for applications will open November 2nd. You can find more information inside our Fox Carolina News app. We are the school station.
Now, time for Fox Carolina weather. Weather Rate certified most accurate local forecast.
Well, it's a beautiful day. We have a few of those high-level clouds out there, but otherwise a good bit of sunshine. That has really helped us warm up. But this weekend, not nearly as warm. We're going to have a good chance of rain and actually some cooler air working in Saturday and Sunday with the rain chances, but the heaviest will come the second half of the weekend with a small severe weather threat. It looks like that would mainly be Sunday afternoon, and we'll be watching closely for that. I'll show you why in a second. Temperatures, look at this, 86 in Greenville, 81 over in Asheville, 84 in Abbeville. Talk about a swing in our temperatures. I tell you what, it's this time of year. You never know what you're going to get. Tonight down to 61, just a few clouds, so you won't really have to bundle up as much in the morning. Upper 50s for you in western North Carolina. Now here's the deal. It's actually going to start to get a bit cooler through the day tomorrow as we have a northeast breeze building in and some clouds thickening up. So only low 70s for highs. Should feel pretty good. In fact, on the Carolina Sky Meter, the fact we only have a very small rain chance, I gave it a 9 out of 10, since even with the cloud cover, it should feel really nice for high school football or whatever else you have planned. Now, of course, we're watching Delta. Winds at 105 miles per hour. It has its sights set on the coast of Louisiana, very close to where Laura made landfall. That'll happen Friday night. Then we're looking at the effects being spread toward our area as it moves into western Tennessee on Sunday as a remnant area of low pressure. Now, again, it'll be a good distance away from us, but still enough to pull in moisture and potentially bring some dynamics that could foster a little bit of severe weather late in the day, too. So here's a look at Friday. We'll start with the drier day, just clouds expected. 10 p.m. Friday might see a few sprinkles, some drizzle out there, and then we start with the off and on rain. This is going to be happening as the storm is moving through Mississippi, sending some waves of rain our way. There's 1 p.m. Saturday, and then we get a little bit of a break, but we'll have off and on rain overnight Sunday. And then Sunday late morning, we'll begin to see that rain pick back up, and we could see temperatures warm up a bit during the day, and that could end up bringing us a little better chance for strong storms by late on Sunday. But rain totals not overly high, but we will be dealing with at least 1 to 2 inches of rain out of the system. As we head toward next week, we will dry out. A 30% chance of rain on Monday as a front sweeps through, and that's going to help to pull out all of the tropical moisture. And then we'll end up with some gorgeous weather for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In the mountains, watch for that rain, mainly light off and on Saturday, and then a chance for some heavier rain and stronger storms on Sunday. Of course, you can always head to foxcarolina.com for your interactive radar anytime, as well as your webcast. Now let's head on over to traffic.
Kendra, thanks. Chris is off today, so we got you covered on the roads. We are watching our Waze app. Users reporting some standstill traffic on Roper Mountain Road in Greenville. Traffic's moving about 8 miles per hour there, which is never good. Also, Garlington Road in Mauldin, slow moving at 8 miles per hour too. And you can join our Fox Carolina traffic team. Go to your Waze profile on the app, go to Waze Groups, and choose Fox Carolina Traffic. We'd love to hear from you. On our Fox Carolina Health Watch, doctors strongly urging everybody to get flu shots this year. But there are always questions surrounding the vaccine, like, does it really work and will it make me sick? A doctor from the University of Virginia is giving us some answers.
I just want to emphasize the importance of the flu shot. And, now that we're entering flu season, for a couple of reasons. Number one is that we really don't know what happens if you come down with the flu and COVID at the same time. And if COVID overwhelms the immune system, if you add the flu on top of that, it could make this an even deadlier combination. And then secondarily, we think about the flu as kind of not a big deal or something that happens every year. But the reality is that thousands of people die from the flu every year, and many more thousands become critically ill and end up in the hospital, sometimes on ventilators, as we're seeing with COVID as well. And I see a lot of people who hesitate with the flu shot. People say, well, it's not that effective, so why am I getting it? And I just want to emphasize that the point of the flu shot is really to prevent mortality, so to prevent death from the flu. And so it's true that the shot does not completely prevent you from getting the flu at some point during the season, but it's much more likely that you'll have a very mild case. The other thing that I hear a lot about the flu shot is people say, well, the flu shot gave me the flu, or the flu shot made me sick. And, I wanted people to understand that the flu shot is made with dead flu viruses. So it physically cannot cause the flu. But what it does do, and what I hear people say when I ask them more about it, is it does cause a low-grade fever. It can cause some muscle aches and some chills, and you can feel pretty crummy for a day or two after the flu shot. And that's just the body's immune system reacting the way we actually want it to, making those good antibodies, those soldiers, to fight the flu if we actually come into contact with it. And it's perfectly fine for most people to, take some Tylenol or take some Motrin or rest for a day or two, but it's not the flu itself. It's just the immune system reacting to the shot and kind of prepping itself in case you actually come across the flu.
And while you're getting your flu shot, doctors recommend checking to see if you and your children are up to date on other vaccines too. Our favorite time of the show, another edition of Four-Legged Friends is coming up. Kendra Kent will introduce us to Tyler. So cute. And the Gulf states preparing for their second hurricane in 6 weeks. We're tracking Delta straight ahead.
We're back with weather and traffic together every 10 minutes, and we're going to focus on a little football for this weather hit because, of course, a lot of you wondering if high school football will get messed with by the rain that's headed our way. You might see a few sprinkles, but overall it's looking all right. Mostly cloudy, 70 at kickoff, 66 at halftime. Now, South Carolina takes on Vanderbilt in Nashville, and there will be rain, but it does not appear there will be thunderstorm activity, so rain should be pretty light, low 70s. Hopefully nothing will keep that game from going on. And then, of course, Miami at Clemson, a big top 10 matchup, mid 60s expected with rain likely. Some of it could be heavy at times, so this will be an interesting one to watch, but I don't anticipate lightning to be an issue for this game. We'll have much more coming up, but first let's head on over to traffic.
Chris is off today, so I got you covered on the roads this afternoon. We're watching a few things in Greenville County here at 424. That accident at Easley Bridge Road at Ledbetter Street, Augusta Road at White Horse Road, that's a new one. Roper Mountain Road at Corinthian Drive, and 2 lanes remain blocked. On 385 northbound, that's at exit 27. And a live look from our DOT camera, there's 385 south for you at mile marker 29.5. And now it's time for Fox's Four-Legged Friends, and we continue to feature pets from Greenville County Animal Care this week. And this one is a cutie. Look at this hound mix. Oh my gosh, what a handsome boy. Got caught with his tongue out there. I love that. This is Tyler. He's about 4 years old, a hound, as you can see, neutered and ready to go. He is literally there just waiting for someone to give him a forever home. He's good on a leash. And he's a big guy, as you saw in the video, 62 pounds. So, you know, just make sure you've got plenty of backyard space for him because obviously looks like he's got a lot of energy. I tell you what, there's nothing like a hound dog. They are like the most devoted, sweet pets. And of course, if you're interested, just give them a call, 467-3950, to set up an appointment because these days you can't just walk right in. You've got to have an appointment to come see all the adoptable pets. And of course, download our Fox Carolina app and head to foxcarolina.com as well to read more about our four-legged friends. Oh, we love Tyler. Hopefully he finds a wonderful home. And as the wildfires continue to devastate California and out west, its wildlife population receiving some help here. This is a 350-pound black bear. Look at those paws. It was rescued by a medical team after suffering from burns. Doctors healed that bear. Oh my gosh, look at him. And they named him Barry. They actually used tilapia fish skins as dressings over his wounds. Wow. And after being rehabbed, Barry was released back into the woods. There he is, of Northern California. Wow. And quite a sight. Can you imagine seeing this down your street? This is an elephant seal and just started going down the neighborhood street there in Chile. An animal control official says it's actually completely normal to see these critters outside of their natural habitat this time of year. Local media reports the animal was returned to the sea that same night. It's good news, with the help of neighbors and officials. Pretty big seal there. Still to come, a scary situation when a house goes up in flames. Crews had to run back in to save the family dog. You see right there. And in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Prisma Health launching its mobile mammography clinic. We'll tell you where you can find it.
Closed captioning sponsored by Bojangles. It's Bo time.
Fox Carolina's The School Station. Governor McMaster's plan to provide scholarships from the CARES Act funding was shot down. The South Carolina Supreme Court ruled his Safe Grants program unconstitutional. It would have provided $32 million in grants for low-income families to help pay for tuition at private, charter, and parochial schools across the state. Fox Carolina's Justin Dorsey tells us more.
Well, the governor says that he plans on committing to help both parents of public school students and private school students just the same. He also said that he's going to ask the Supreme Court to take a look at their decision in their ruling. Now, Governor McMaster's Safe Access to Flexible Education Grants program planned on giving one-time tuition grants for students to attend private and independent primary and secondary schools for this academic school year. Now, the program raised some eyebrows when critics believe that that same money should go to be helping public schools during the pandemic. But the Supreme Court's ruling states that his plan, quote, constitutes the use of public funds for the direct benefit of private educational institutions, which violates the state's constitution, end quote. Now, not happy with that decision, the governor released this statement that reads in part, quote, the ruling may also place in jeopardy millions of dollars in CARE Act funds recently appropriated by the General Assembly to directly reimburse independent private colleges and HBCUs. We will request the court to reconsider this important decision, end quote. And the governor says he has plans to ask the Supreme Court to reconsider their ruling as soon as possible. For now, that's the story from here in Inman. Justin Dorsey, Fox Carolina.
And coming up at 5:30, we'll hear more from Governor McMaster about the court's decision. And new information at 4:30, the Travelers Rest High School football game against Walhalla postponed after 3 TR players test positive for COVID-19. 2 varsity and 1 JV, we're told. Now, 2 additional players, a varsity and 1 JV, are awaiting test results. Tonight's TR junior varsity game at Walhalla also canceled. The TR football program temporarily suspended all practices. And Spartanburg District 3 postponing all varsity football games and practices until October 21st. A student athlete at Broome High School also tested positive for COVID-19 and is asymptomatic. Well, the Gulf Coast bracing for a powerful hurricane yet again. Hurricane Delta is aimed at southwestern Louisiana in nearly the exact same spot. It's still recovering from Hurricane Laura, which hit in August. The storm forecasted to impact the region this Friday. Mandy Gaither has more on what's being done to get ready for the storm.
For the second time in 6 weeks,
really the word is disbelief. Like, how could this be happening again?
the Gulf Coast has a bullseye on its back.
Everything is just kind of starting to get back to normal when this storm was coming our way.
Hurricane Delta barreling towards the same area of southwest Louisiana already devastated by Hurricane Laura in August. That storm destroyed more than 10,000 homes and damaged 35,000 others. In Lake Charles, many are still living without a roof.
It's just a lot. You know, it's emotionally, I think everybody is just battered and worn down right now.
Those in the storm's path struggling to prepare as the National Hurricane Center forecasts dangerous winds and life-threatening storm surge as high as 11 feet.
So my wife was getting worried about the windows, so we're trying to get these windows, put some plywood on them, get them safe.
Evacuation orders and curfews have been issued for several areas near the Louisiana coast. Hurricane Delta slammed into Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula yesterday, set to hit the U.S. Friday, before it drenches areas much further inland in the following days. I'm Mandy Gaither reporting.
And ahead of Delta, the Mississippi governor declared a state of emergency, urging residents to prep for the worst. A hurricane warning also extending to Texas. The Lone Star State could see some hurricane force winds. We do want to bring in our chief meteorologist, Kendra Kent, for more on this and how it will affect the upstate this weekend.
I mean, yeah, your heart breaks for those along the Gulf Coast, especially that had to deal with Laura, then this. And of course, we'll see much lesser impacts, but we will certainly feel impacts from this storm in the form of rain, a little bit of a breeze, but wind shouldn't be that bad, and a small severe weather threat coming late on Sunday. But for now, we are watching that Category 2 storm with winds at 105 miles per hour. It's doing nothing but strengthening at this point. It will likely be a major hurricane Friday morning, then make landfall Friday evening. It diminishes to a remnant low by the time we get into Saturday or Sunday morning rather. and that'll be over western Tennessee. That's when it's going to bring us the best chance for some heavier rain. Right now, though, dry as a bone and very, very warm. 86 in Greenville, 81 for Asheville. As we step through the next few hours, we'll begin to see clouds increase. This is because of a wedge of cool air that's going to be building in from the northeast. So not directly related to the hurricane, but we will start to see some clouds from Delta going into the day Friday and Saturday. We'll see clouds thicken up across the mountains overnight as well, with temperatures just a little milder than they have been. So as for Delta's local impacts, we're going to start to see some very light rain develop into Friday. It's mainly going to be late Friday. Shouldn't mess a whole lot with your high school football games or your Friday evening plans, but have the umbrella just in case. Off and on rain Saturday. Area stays stable, though. Not expecting any strong storms, anything like that, but a few soaking downpours are possible. Heaviest rain comes on Sunday. And you can see this hour by hour. Notice on Friday, we stayed dry most of the day, just clouds, and then a few light showers come in Friday night. Nothing that's going to cause a lot of issues. You can see we start Saturday with some light showers and then get a few heavier downpours into the afternoon. And these will come in waves. We're not going to see it constantly. And then as we go into Saturday night, Sunday morning, here comes a little more widespread rain. And that's what we'll have to watch out for, especially Sunday afternoon, as we could see the atmosphere become a little more primed for storms toward Sunday late day. Well, much more coming up in just a few minutes. But first, want to check in on the roads with Tori.
You got it. Thank you, Kendra. Chris is off today, so we're watching the roads for you this afternoon in Greenville County. Following the accident on Depot Street at Poinsett Street, Eastleigh Bridge Road at Ledbetter Street, Roper Mountain Road at Corinthian Drive, and a stalled vehicle now on 85 North. That's at exit 46. Also, an accident on Augusta Road at Whitehorse Road. And moving to Spartanburg County now, stalled vehicle 85 North. That's at exit 63, which is Main Street, in a lane blocked due to an accident on 56. That's at Dairy Ridge Road. A live look from our DOT camera. This is 85 South at mile marker 66. There is a pulled over vehicle. Traffic is moving a little bit slower in that area. Can't really see much right there, but wanted to show you what it looked like. Meanwhile, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Prisma Health launching its mobile mammography clinic. The clinic designed to offer 2D and 3D mammogram screenings. The hospital says the mobile unit will serve the entire upstate and potentially 3,000 to 4,000 women in its first year. We'll have 2 mammography technologists, and all results will be read by board-certified radiologists. It's even possible for anyone to host this mobile clinic to help more people get tested.
This is an amazing tool because, as you can see, it's an RV, so we're able to be mobile, access to care, to take mammograms on site, and that pretty much increases access to care for women that may have an issue coming on site to get their mammograms done, and really the ultimate goal is early detection with breast cancer.
You can find more information about how you can host a mobile mammography event inside of our Fox Carolina News app. Firefighters in Mauldin say a family's dog is okay after rescuing him from a burning home. Crews saw flames coming from the back side of a home on Miller Road earlier today. They say that family made it out okay, but one of their dogs was still inside. Firefighters found him while searching. They got him out safely. Mauldin police posted this photo of firefighters treating Sam the pup with oxygen after the rescue. The Red Cross was called in to help this family, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation.